Hi everyone. I hope you're doing good wherever you are in the world. I wanted to share something with you. A company that's very exciting as well is Blink, BLNK. Blink Charging is the name. They're based out of Florida. And I wanted to share a couple of things with you. One is the price action, and two is some things about the company itself and why it's interesting and why it seems to be spiking up lately. So here in this chart, if you can see this arrow, in the beginning of July, it was merely around the $2 range, $3 range, and then it shot up all the way past six, and it had some good support here at $6. It really struggled to break that $8 mark until probably just a few days ago, about 4 days ago. You can see this large green candle where it just broke out of the $8 range, and then it started to spike up above the $14 range and then back down to 12, and it's consolidating here and finding some support around the $10.54 range, or $10 range I should say. That's pretty common, because if we look here just for the month of July, we can see where it started to find some support in the $7 range before it shot up. So it's very promising. And what ties into that is the next thing I wanted to review with you. But first, let's look at a little bit of the returns for the year. So return for the year is almost 500 or 466%, moving into the 500% range. And I was looking at the blue chip stocks, not that it's apples to apples comparison, but when when have you ever seen a blue chip stock go up to 466% in a matter of months? Usually that would take years. It would take 10 to 11 years for the stock market to double. So that would have been, if it's every 10 to 11 years, and this thing has essentially gone up about four or five, let's say five times, right? That means that it would have taken like 50 years for a traditional stock. Maybe not 50, but some a long, let's just say a long time for it to double and quadruple and quintuple uh, like this one did. So, and then let's look at the ratios. So here, if you follow my arrow, I'm on the second column here where it says quick ratio and the current ratio. That just tells me that BLNK isn't going under. They're not going to go into bankruptcy, at least not anytime soon. The odds of that are pretty low, since it can satisfy its short-term obligations. What they are seeing is growth. So these are all negative returns. That's because they've been so early and in development of their products, and consumption is merely just started for them. That's why you see all these negative returns. They've burnt a lot of capital trying to get their product out in the market. But it's a different story now. It's a different time. We'll go into a little bit about that later. So looking at the shares outstanding, 226 million, share float 22.65. The share float is good. Means there are not too many shares out in the market where supply and demand. So basically, if this was 200 million share float, then there would be quite a bit of shares um, out in the market, and that would mean that with supply and demand, that means that the price wouldn't be able to push up as high as it has. If we start to see more shares come into the market, that's something to watch out for. Actually, that's something that happened to Nikola Motors. They had 30 days after their IPO, and the the stock price just tumbled because of supply demand. So I'm not seeing that here right now. That doesn't mean that that wouldn't change. So just be vigilant about that. Again, do your own due diligence, consult your own financial advisor, never take advice from a random guy on YouTube. So, and another thing to watch out, some people might like this, but it's a highly volatile stock. Beta is 3, meaning it's about 3 times more volatile than the market itself, which the market already is volatile. So you can imagine the amount of variation in the stock price. Optionable, you can buy options, and shortable for those of you that like to play it short as well. Overall, looks pretty solid. Volume right now is at 6.2 uh, relative to relative volume. That's exactly on par, pretty much. You know, volume is healthy, and if we start to see volume double or triple, that means we're based on this limited supply. The price is likely to shoot up some more. So, you know, it's very exciting stuff. So from a financial point of view. Now let's take a look at the product. So I was curious to see and to know what's the big deal with Blink charging. And here you can see it, 642 charging stations. In the West Coast, it's very predominant. You know, that's where this EV market, most of the players are, such as Tesla. And then you've got Fisker, SPAC is the other one that I'm watching as well. You probably have a few others that I haven't mentioned out in the West Coast, but here, you know, with all the tech companies here, you kind of see where they have 721 charging stations in Southern California and 260 in Northern, bringing it up to 806 or 961 charging stations in California alone. So that's pretty healthy. Then you can see along the coastal lines, 325 in Texas, 298 in Florida, and you get the point all around the coastal lines. And I imagine they only have all opportunity to move inward into the Midwest and more central and northern states in the United States. Globally, I know that they are doing some business in Korea. Oh, looks like that can't be right. I thought they're doing some business in Athens, Greece, but looks like the rest of the map isn't quite showing up yet. They're landing those deals. They probably haven't put the stations up uh, there quite yet. I know that they did a trade show in Athens, Greece. Uh, they um, they actually did some contracts in Korea and Israel. So they're also going global. They're actually selling on Amazon. So if you look at for Blink on Amazon, there's some stuff that's going on there. They're putting up wireless charging stations in McDonald's and retailers. They're targeting universities. So they're very aggressive right now. And the CEO, I like that he's very calm. He seems to be very confident and seems to be taking the business in the right direction. So a lot of positives here. Obviously, there's some things to watch out for, such as any huge shares being dumped into the market. I would caution that that will probably um, cause the price to go down, but I don't see that happening, uh, at least in the short term. Maybe after it becomes an established company, but you never know. Do your own due diligence, as I mentioned, and you know you could be rewarded handsomely if you do your homework on this stock. So I hope you found this video of value. If you have, please like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. I'll be doing more research on companies. I'm also following Helion. Helion is probably another one that's going to start running here in the next few months. It's consolidating, or not a lot of action going on there, but they are doing a good amount of natural gas technology and battery technology. And the thing with that is that you don't need charging stations for natural gas. So I'm going to be covering that one here in the near term. So, all right. I hope you've enjoyed. I hope you're having a good time wherever you are in the world. And I hope you have a good week ahead. Thank you for watching and take care.